These are 5 camera basics that will take your photography to the next level. My name is Bonola Solomon. I'm a founder and photographer at Etherscope Photography, and I've been taking pictures for almost a decade now. I've worked with businesses, artists, and people who just wanted to have nice pictures. In today's video, I'll be talking about aperture, shutter speed, ISO, white balance, and composition, as these are imperative for every photographer to know. Aperture, also referred to as an f-stop, is a feature that determines how much light gets into your camera lens. Now, depending on the lens, the aperture can range from 1.8 to 22. The smaller the number, the more light is allowed to enter through your lens, which in turn means your image background tends to be much blurry. This is ideal when you're shooting portraits because the focal point of your image will be your subject. The higher the number means that less light is allowed to enter the lens, which in turn makes your background much sharper. This is best for when you're shooting landscapes because you want everything to be in focus. You don't want the tree to be in focus and the rock there to be out of focus. Shutter speed determines how long the camera sensor is exposed to light. A faster shutter speed freezes motions and sharpens your image. This is ideal when you're shooting subjects which have high movements, like when you're shooting sports or when you're taking pictures for wildlife, because there's a lot of motion, so a higher shutter speed is best for such scenario. Where on the other hand, a slow shutter speed will introduce a motion blur to your image. This will give your image a smooth feel, especially when you're shooting waterfall or that blurry effect whenever you're taking nighttime pictures. The ISO feature allows you to adjust the camera sensor's sensitivity to light. This means you can introduce artificial lighting to your images in a low light environment. But you must be careful when you're using this feature because it does come with a drawback. You see, an ISO between 100 to 800 can work very well depending on the lighting of your environment, but the higher you go, the more noise you begin to introduce to your image. However, with newer cameras, you don't deal with this problem as much. White balance is a feature that allows you to control the color temperature of your images. This means your images can go from warm to cold. Now, every camera has presets that you can use to set up your white balance. You can either set it automatically or you can use presets that are available on every camera, like daylight features, whenever you're shooting in the shade, whenever you're shooting under tungsten light or even fluorescent light. Now, technical settings are very important, but how you frame your subject will either make or break your image. Every camera has grids that you can use to implement the rule of thirds, and also using leading lines in your frame will also help with composition in your image. Implementing these fundamentals will help take your photography to the next level. But if you've been practicing these fundamentals and you would like to take a step further in becoming a professional photographer, then this video might give you some ideas on which businesses you can take on as your clients. I hope to see you in the next one.